Afternoon. I want to talk about Iran, but I also want to talk about Africa and the Middle East. There is a lot of happening in that whole bit of the world. Revolution is coming about, I think, and civil war. I recently went to a conference and heard a guy from Zimbabwe talk. And he said what happened was all the parties came together, united, and told Mugabe he's leaving. And then they went dancing on the street. And for Africa, and I'm not slating off, anybody here, but that's good. Because what they're worried, what society's worried about is another Rwanda. It is estimated around about a quarter of the population, a high amount of that, were killed. Loads were wounded, disfigured and displaced. And what society doesn't want is another Rwanda, because it went bad. To this day, they still don't know how many people died. And we're not talking thousands or 100,000 here, we're talking up in the million. Easily, 1 million people were eradicated. And I've heard stories you wouldn't believe about that place. And it's still there. You've got to understand, and this is something people don't say, because we had a civil war. We didn't have a revolution, we had a civil war. Let me tell you something about the civil war that Britain had. Around about 12 to 13% of the population of then Britain died, wounded or displaced. Around about 9% of that 12% was killed. Hundreds and thousands of men died, and women, all sorts of things. Now, after wars, major wars, one of the biggest killers during the First World War was what happened afterwards. It's called Spanish flu. It wiped out about an eighth of Europe. Men had fought from 1914 to 1918, got on a ship, came back, dead within 2 weeks. This is the sort of shit that goes on. I'm hoping Iran does go peacefully. It does go peacefully. But I've got a really bad feeling, and I'm not promoting, I'm not prophesying, I'm not doing anything, but I think it's going to go bad. I think it's going to go really bad. And there's going to be mass arrests and executions. There will be. I don't think this is going to go good. I still think Mugabe is not going to get out of Zimbabwe. I don't think he's going to survive. I think he's going to have an accident one night. People who have got a lot of memories, people forget. That's the thing is, when the law breaks down, the amount of people killed in revolutions, civil wars, military, whatever you want to call it, well, quite a bit of that is people going, he done me over the other week. Bosh! Yeah? If law disappeared now in Britain, how many of us would think, this is the problem with revolutions and things like that. They're always, they're normally 90% of the time very violent. And out of a revolution would come one party and say, and one of the most common things said after a revolution is, didn't we just get rid of someone like that? Okay? The Russian Revolution was very, very quick. The aftermath of getting the country, getting the communism in, getting all that, was quite a long time, and a lot of people died. I personally think China, and I really do believe that bubble's going to burst and they're going to have another cultural revolution and the hardcore communists are going to come back in, and then we'll see. It'll make the 1949 cultural revolution like a day out. And I mean that. So I'm really hoping Iran goes through this, thinks about it. It is very strict, it's very hard, it's very Muslim. It is, I wouldn't say, I don't like to use that word, because most of the Muslims I've met are really nice and kind and gentle and decent and don't want to blow shit up and blow people up, and they don't believe in the ISIS and things like that and the Taliban and all that rubbish that the media will tell you that they do. I haven't met anyone. I've not met anyone. I've not met a Muslim in my life that said, yeah, we're here to convert your country and get rid of all these people. I've never met one. No one's ever said that to me, and I've been around loads of them. I was in London, I've lived in major cities, and I've never heard of them. The ones I've met have been really kind and really nice. I believe Iran is one of the strictest Muslim countries. I have dealings with people, refugees, and that have become Christian. And as far as they are, as the Iran Muslim faith is, the only sentence for that is death. You know, you've got to look at things, and you know, the world is like physics. It's very physics. So if I got a balloon and kept blowing in it, blowing in it, and blowing in it, and blowing in it, and blowing in it, it'll eventually go bang. You can only oppress the people so long. Do you know what I mean? Most of your dictators will get in, wipe out all the people that might oppose them. That's what Pol Pot did in the Khmer Rouge. Get rid of all the intelligent, get rid of them all so they can't fight back. Make everyone a peasant culture. Don't let them read and write. You know, there's going to be a mass media block on this. You know that. You know that. There's going to be a lot of blocks on this. Well, probably not actually, because it's Iran and we want to get that oil out of them. You might see this, but there's other revolutions. So as a Christian as well and a socialist, I am praying and hoping and believing that, you know, there is a peaceful resolution to this, because it's brilliant. There's these little fires happening, pockets. You know, you're at Zimbabwe, Libya. I know Libya's a bit different, and there's a lot about Libya that's not right. And you know, lots of people are starting to think, hold it a moment, hold it. We need to get, you know, why can't we have that? And I like that. I'm convinced Iran. There was nothing reported on Zimbabwe in Iran. Because that's what you want. You want things like this. People to see it. You want to look at your free press. You want to get all that. All that would have been suppressed. All of that's going to be suppressed in Iran. They're going to be rounded up first. All the people that will talk out about it. That's the people you need to get hold of. They're the people you need to listen to. You know, there's been already complaints about Trump tweeting, and you know, America wants to get in there, you know, and we know that, and I'm really, really hoping and praying that Iran can sort its own rubbish out, its own mess out, without the help of America, because man, it's going to cause trouble. If America goes in there, it's going to cause trouble, and you're just going to cause trouble for the rest of the world. Because you're going to all you're doing is giving the ISIS and the Taliban and all those other Islamic terrorist groups ammunition. You don't give your enemy ammunition. You cut them off from it. You know, we need to come together until Trump and May and all these leaders, hold it, mate. Let Iran sort its own problems out. And we really have. Because this is if we go into Iran like we went into Iraq and Afghanistan, the shit will hit the fan, and it will seriously. You know, we go in there with a mentality of not realising culture. We don't look at their culture. You know, right? You kill my dad. It's my job as my oldest son to vengeance your death. That's their culture. That's the culture. That is. You know, I'm not being racist or anything. You know, it's a part of their culture. You know, hey mate, you've done me a wrong, I'm going to do you a wrong. You know, I know all this. You know, do unto other people and all that. And yeah, I believe that. As a person sows, they shall reap. What comes around goes around. And, you know, I'm really hoping and I'm really praying for peace and love in Iran, and I'm hoping it doesn't go bad, and I want to just bring solidarity to my brothers and sisters out there, who are fighting the fight and really want the freedom. I don't want another dictator. I don't want another leader, another bent leader. They want freedom. And there's nothing wrong with that. We all want freedom. Peace, love and out, and power to the people.